Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. I have a very special guest today. He is the youngest founder of publicly traded companies, a serial investor, and he has made influencers $60 million from campaigns.
Yeah.
Dan Fleyshman. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks
That was when everyone claps. Thanks for coming on.
You make it easy because we're right next door to where I work here, so it's good.
Literally, one of his companies that he owns, Cars and Coffees, right next door, and he's here right next door.
I see you here all the time. So when you said come on, I'm like, yeah, I'll walk 7 feet over.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So for the people that probably live under a rock and don't know who you are, don't know your journey, can you tell us a little bit more about how you started and where you are today?
Sure. When I was in high school, I trademarked the catchphrase, "Who's your daddy?"
I love that.
For over 300 products. And I was licensing it out for clothing and products and barbecue sets and everything. And then when I was 18, we got a big licensing deal. So we did $1 million in sales at the first show, and then we did a $9.5 million licensing deal with Starter Apparel when we were 19 years old. So that helped us go through the entrepreneurial journey of losing money, getting sued, go through the headaches of being a young entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
We had that royalty money coming in from the $9.5 million with Starter. I was 23 years old. We took it public on the stock market to launch an energy drink. For the next 4 years, I didn't sleep, and we got the drinks into 55,000 retail stores in America.
That is amazing.
There are 43 beverage distributors.
How many people did it take to get it to that caliber of level?
So I had 11 sales reps, 1 national sales manager, and then I would go meet with every chain store.
Wow.
And I would go to every city. We had 43 cities, 43 distributors, and every city I'd go there and train their staff on what's called a ride-along, where I literally get in the truck with Budweiser or Coors or whoever's my distributor. I'd get in the Budweiser truck and go with them to all the stores and train their reps on how to sell the drinks, because there were 900 drinks on the market. So why do people want to buy my drink versus 900 other drinks, especially the big ones? Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, these are huge companies. So I did that for 10 years. When I was 27, I resigned from the company to put another feather in my cap, and I started an online poker site. Social media was just getting going. This is 2008, 2009. I signed Dan Bilzerian and DJ Steve Aoki and Playboy Playmates and Poker Pros to become like the cool kids poker site. Mm-hmm. Built it up. Things were going great, doing tens of millions of dollars of revenue, and then online poker gets shut down in America.
Crazy.
FBI seizes the bank accounts of my competitors. Not me, but my competitors get in trouble. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't do anything wrong, so I didn't get in trouble. But by default, I go from being like a top 5 poker site to the #1 site because all my other competitors are dead or in jail.
Wow.
Not the way you want to win the game.
Right.
So I spent the next 4 days and I manually paid back 41,000 poker players, gave them all their money back.
Wow.
So I could just sleep at night, and I started my next journey. And so that's when I started the social media agency. We got in early. Like I was literally driving to Kim and Kylie's house to bring fit tea and Fashion Nova dresses, 8-9 years ago when social was just getting started. And to watch it evolve from tweets and some, Facebook posts, and then before Instagram, TikTok really existed. And so then I did that. I still do that. Social media is my day job. It's called Elevator Studio. And then my passion is my charity called Model Citizen Funds. For the last 10 years, I make backpacks for the homeless with 150 items inside. And I'll be doing that for the rest of my life.
I love that. First and foremost, I love that you give back, because I think that's super essential when you're successful. There's a lot of people that are very successful, and to give back to those that are in need, especially when they can't do for themselves, is phenomenal. That is my favorite thing about what you do.
Yeah,
and you do so much.
Yeah.
I just feel like that just makes me feel better when I do it. I'm sure it makes you feel amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes your sleepless nights worth not sleeping,
right.
So I'm going to take it back. You said you raised so much money. You made your first million at what, 19?
So at 18, we did our first $1 million in orders, but you don't make, when you do $1 million, you hear people say, I did $1 million in sales. You don't make $1 million when you do $1 million in sales. Most of the time you average 10 to 30% of when you see people say $1 million, they average 10 to 30% of net profit. So we did $1 million in sales the first year, but then 9.5 million second year, and then it got bigger from there.
So how are you able to generate that much growth from your first year to your second year?
So that was through networking. We met with this guy named Christopher Wicks, who owned the licenses to Hang 10, Ocean Pacific, Body Glove, LA Gear, Fender Guitars. He owned the brand rights to make clothing for them. And so he introduced us to the manufacturers and suppliers in the UK that ended up licensing that $9.5 million deal wouldn't have happened without him.
That's amazing.
We were the cool kids that had a fun name, catchy catchphrase like what we had, but ultimately the relationship is what mattered.
Absolutely.
What he was able to bring to the table was what changed our life.
Absolutely. I feel like majority of situations, you could have an amazing product, but if you don't have that person to connect your product to where it needs to go to elevate, that's where that amazing product stops. And I feel like that's super essential to know these people, to connect these products to certain things to make it elevate to that extent.
Yep.
So you did the Who's Your Daddy.
Yep.
Then after that was the poker.
Yeah. So then clothing went to energy drinks. Energy drink was about 4 years. And then poker was right after that.
Oh my gosh. So what do you feel like is your most, I guess, your baby? Like which company or item or your model citizen is which one's your baby?
My model citizen fund. The charity's my thing. Like all the businesses are like a means to an end of my ultimate goal of like curing hunger. Not me curing hunger, but I have the roadmap to do it. And I need to rally my friends together. I want my friends and followers and everybody to get really, really rich so that one day, I don't never ask a favor, but one day I'm gonna ask a really big favor to help us cure hunger. It's something that's very solvable.
I love that.
Charity Water is doing a great job on the water side, and I think they're gonna be able to help our planet. Shelter is the other thing that's very curable. I've been mapping out a plan on how to create shelter at scale for the homelessness. But ultimately, there is no reason that people don't have food.
Absolutely.
On any country, anywhere on the planet, even in third world countries. There are so many household name companies, grocery stores that make so much excess that could be fixing this problem. And we go through a lot of red tape with politics of like, most restaurants aren't even legally allowed to give their leftovers to the homeless in their area. That's insanity.
Insanity.
Right?
I'll take it away.
Yeah, they're like, oh, they might get sick. I'll take getting sick over being starving.
Absolutely.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Right?
We get sick when we don't even know that the food gives us stomach poison or whatever, stomach flu, and we eat it anyway.
Yes, and I would take that over not having any food if I was homeless, right? And so that's my ultimate goal. And the Model Citizen Fund is my practice, right? I've been doing it for 10 years now. I'm going to keep doing it for decades, but it's really practice of like showing people how charity can be done easily without lots of money. Right? The backpacks are $100. And I don't really raise money from the public. I mostly just do it all myself. And then once or twice a year, I'll throw a charity event. But ultimately, I just cover the cost of it because it's my passion or my friends will donate to it.
Absolutely.
But then 4 times a year, we do charity events. Here in downtown LA at Hubble Studio, it's called Trina's Kids Foundation. We bring in 300 to 400 families that are Latin families or African-American families in downtown LA. And we bring them back. We do a back to school drive. We do a report card day. Where we're giving them all their supplies for school. We do a Thanksgiving food drive, and then we do a big toy drive. But we do it for example. We don't ever really raise money for these. We do it so that people will go do their own toy drive, go do your own back to school day, go do your own. Like you guys can replicate what we're doing. That's my goal when I show charity. I don't want a pat in the back. I want you to go do charity. I want you to go do the same things we're doing.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that your passion is for everyone to do what you're doing. And that's super essential in life because, like I said, we are blessed. We're blessed to be able to eat every day. And I'm talking about the bare minimum. I just interviewed someone that, was very, very positive about her situation. And you just look at certain things in life and you just look at them as blessings, and we're blessed to be able to eat every day. We're blessed to be able to have a job. We're blessed to be able to feed our families. And I just feel that to spread that is phenomenal. So Model Citizen, poker, everything. I mean, you have so much going on, 36 companies that you've invested in. Do you remember all of them? I know that's a lot. You do?
Yeah.
Go ahead, name them. I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it. All 36.
I can't do all 36 like that. I can't name them all, but I looked at my phone because I have them all under INV, which means investment. But there are some that I'm very passionate about.
Absolutely.
That are standing out.
What are your favorites?
So there's a girl named Margot Baines, and she was ex-military, started teaching in Houston to lower income schools. And then she created a teaching platform.
I love that.
And I saw her speaking. I first invested because I heard her on Clubhouse, and she pitched me, and literally the next day I invested.
That's amazing.
And Margot just, she crushes it. And so she goes to all these different events and speaks and wins all the awards, like 25K, 10K, 50K prizes. Wow. And then just recently, Google Ventures did a fund for African American startups, and she just won that too.
Oh, wow.
And so she got another check just like a week ago. And so
That
I
is
just
amazing.
backing someone like her is my true passion in this thing. And so I've been finding a lot of good companies like hers that I don't really care about the money part of it. I want her to go win and her go to inspire people to do what she's doing.
Absolutely. So how do you choose, I guess, companies that you want to work with and invest in?
So it's all about the person, the quarterback. You heard my passion about talking about her. Like Margot's the reason. If she was selling lamps, I would have invested in her.
Absolutely.
To have that she happened to be doing something much more important than lamps by teaching kids and focusing on that. But ultimately, I'm betting on the person.
Absolutely.
And so I look at track records or I look at passion.
Absolutely.
So I don't need them to go to Harvard. I actually prefer someone didn't go to Harvard simply because the Harvard educated person has a really good chance to just go get another job if something fails.
Absolutely.
Margot isn't just going to go get another job tomorrow if something doesn't work out. She's going to be what I call ride or die, right?
Absolutely.
Ride or die based on the company that she'll be there at 2 a.m. working if she needs to. She'll be at the convention and drive 6 hours to go if she has to. The kid from Harvard might not, right? Because he can just go, or she can go get a job, make $150K a year being a lawyer, an accountant, or whatever. So like, I look for people that are ride or die, and then I look for products that people care about. So, will someone pay for this? They have to vote with their wallets. Will someone actually put this on their credit card or pay cash for that thing? And will lots of people do that?
Yes.
I don't need to all become billion-dollar companies. I'm happy investing in a company that goes from like 200K to 2 million or 2 million to 10 million. They don't need to go be a $1 company every time. I don't need grand slams. I want lots of home runs, and then occasionally I want some company to become the grand slam.
Absolutely. And is there companies like let's say something that's popular right now, like let's say bowls. I know you have acai bowls. Yeah. A company that's like that, like maybe you have drinks, that you see, or what, I guess, before even meeting the person, like let's say someone brings you water or a product and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you meet the person. Is that a deciding factor for you? Is that something like...
I have to like what I'm investing into.
Absolutely.
And so I've invested in multiple beverages. One's called Montauk Iced Tea. I just did one with Skin Tea. It's a healthy beverage that's collagen based. Mm-hmm. It's in a lot of beauty salons, et cetera. We just put 3 million more into that company. So I try to find products that I like or that I know people like.
Absolutely.
And that's really important because, again, I got to talk about it, promote it, et cetera.
Right.
If you brought me a cigarette company, I would never invest. Right. Even if you gave me free equity in a cigarette company, I wouldn't invest or take shares for free. Because I'm not going to talk about it, I don't post about it, and I don't believe in it.
Absolutely. And that's super essential as well, too. Even with the people that promote on social media, I do it as well too. Like, I don't like to promote companies that I don't believe in, because then you're giving fake, one. Two, when the person gets whatever product you're selling and don't like it, then it comes back to you. Mm-hmm. So then you're at fault and like, oh, why is this a bad product? Why is this badly made? Or why are you promoting it? And then you're like, oh, well, I got paid. But after that, it's your character. Yes. So that is where the issue lies, is within your character. And that's why I feel like even with promoting, like, certain things, you actually have to believe in that brand. For sure. 110% first and foremost. So I do agree with you on that as well too. Yeah.
From the agency side, I've turned down a lot of household name clients that they're household names for doing bad things or selling a product that hurts people. So I just physically won't do it. I don't care how much the money is. I know that I won't be happy texting and calling a bunch of influencers. Hey, will you promote this cigarette, or will you promote this medicine pill that may or may not work? I don't do those. Absolutely. So all your products and all your investments are good for you. They don't harm your body. And anything else that I'm missing that I've... So we also do it for companies that we want to help see scale. Elevate. So we do it. We're the agency for Oracle. Obviously, Oracle's already a huge company, but I really like Oracle-related products. We're the agency for BET Television and on their TV shows. I love that campaign. We've been working with them for 3.5 years now. Wow. Doing all their shows and Tyler Perry's shows. Like, that's awesome. He's such a legend. Love Tyler Perry. And then First Form is a supplement company. We've been doing that campaign since 2016. So for 6 years now. It's the longest running influencer campaign ever. Great product, by the way. First Form is an amazing product. so I like finding companies that I can, I believe in. And then if you notice, the clients I've had are 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, et cetera. I don't do long-term contracts ever. I don't even have it. I literally don't even have an option for a long-term contract because I want the brands to want us and have us do what we do. And we've had these clients for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, et cetera, and some longer, simply because influencer marketing works, and we're really fast and effective to execute.
Absolutely. So I feel like with all these investments in all these businesses, do you feel that you have the blueprint to marketing?
So the blueprint has changed over time, right?
Right.
When I first started the agency 8-9 years ago, social media looked very different. There was no algorithm. We had it chronological. Like if you posted, hey, I'm going to this restaurant, I would see it. Now, if you could post about the restaurant, I might not see it for 3 days or never because of the algorithm. So things have changed and evolved. There's more platforms, not a lot more, but there's more platforms. TikTok has definitely came in strong. LinkedIn became a social media platform now because there's photo, videos, likes, and comments. Didn't have that for many years. YouTube is its own beast, right? YouTube is a much harder because you got to do long form content. But Instagram, Twitter, Facebook have evolved.
Absolutely.
And they've evolved a lot. And so I've watched, a lot of influencers come and go, and a lot of influencers you never expect become huge or get really big and then disappear and fade away.
Right.
I've watched a lot of it, and I enjoy social media because it is a direct contact to your customers and followers.
Absolutely.
And people will believe if Telli posts about that water, I am much more likely to believe you than me seeing a water billboard.
Absolutely.
Because you told me to, and I followed you, and you didn't force me to follow you, right?
Right.
And so that's what's important about the influencer marketing side is it's the most affordable. Paying influencers is actually very affordable on a CPM basis, which is a cost per 1,000 followers basis, or a cost per 1,000 eyeballs basis. When you pay for a billboard or a TV ad or a radio ad, you're paying $10 to $40 per 1,000 people. On social, you're paying like $1. So it's not a little different.
How do you determine, like, let's say, for example, like followers follow me for whether it's my family, whether it's for fitness, whether it's for what I wear. How do you determine what products go to what particular influencer?
Sure. So we look for what we call generalized influencers or niche influencers. A generalized influencer is someone that looks good, or they got popular for a song, or they got popular for their looks, or they got popular for something that a TV show, a reality show, etc. That's what I call a generalized influencer, where they have a large audience, 100,000, 500,000, 2 million, whatever. They have a large audience, but the followers came from all over the place, and they're not there for a specific thing. A niche influencer is a fitness influencer, cooking influencer, makeup influencer, hair, a mechanic, car, something that's niche. Those people, I will pay more for specific products.
That makes sense.
The water brand's not going to pay more for the basketball influencer because the basketball influencer is good, but not necessarily everyone's there to listen to what they're drinking water-wise. The water company will pay more for a cooking influencer because people are there about specifically what they consume. So I will look at the category of what does this influencer look like. We paid 3,500 influencers this year.
Oh, wow.
Like 3,500 individual W-9 forms was just this year. Those influencers are a wide range of backgrounds, age groups, niches, etc. Sometimes brands want an influencer with millions and millions of followers, and sometimes they want them to have 20,000 followers. Mm-hmm. We're there to provide whatever size that they want. Ultimately, if you're an influencer listening, having a niche will get you a higher rate, hands down. But that does not mean that when people say, oh, I want a smaller follower like that has 50,000, because people are just saying that because it's cool to say micro.
Right.
There are influencers with 1 million followers that are still considered niche. It's not just the size, right? It's the fact that the people that are following them are passionate about what is that person passionate about.
Right.
Whether that's cooking, cars, fitness, makeup, whatever that is.
That's amazing. And like I said, to me, it's just so mind-blowing how you have so much in your head. I just want to keep picking in your head because how do you manage all of this? You have businesses in different states and different, locations, just managing all these different businesses, different investments. Where is all your time go in your day? So my main way is through group chats. I know it sounds silly, but I use group chats for everything. Every investment, every retail store has its own group chat. Every event has its own group chat. Every charity has its own group chat. Every city has its own group chat. And everything in my life has its own group chat. And that way I know I can search, hey, where are the videographers? I hit the video group chat. Hey, where are the web designers? I hit the web designer group chat. Hey, I'm going to go to Miami. Bam, I'm going to hit the Miami group chat. Oh, I'm going to Utah. I'm going to speak out there next weekend. Boom, hit the Utah group chat. So the Utah group chat has everything that's in Utah, whether that's videographers, business. All the main characters in a city are typically in a group chat. And then
every business investment, every client, every vendor, and every event has its own group chat.
How many group chats do you have?
A lot. I don't know.
I just feel like even keeping up with the group chats is like,
But at least I know that they're working on it.
Absolutely.
And I can always go back to it. When you go to do like email threads or platforms, etc., it's hard. You get lost.
Absolutely.
Right? On a group chat thread, I know I can always go back to it and be like, nope, August 12th, you said this. Like,
right.
Even here, I knew I was going to be here at 3:00 because I knew in my group chat, boom, right? And so to me, it's just easier to remember things and to keep track of everything by having it through my text.
How do you, so you manage all your things through group chats. Do you use your notes in your phone to do you have shared notes as well too? Because I tend to use shared notes like with invoices. Like let's say I'm doing a party or something and I want to do like a shared note for invoices or things that are coming up. And I just feel like that's easier to use your phone because you're on it all the time.
Yeah, I have a group chat with my accounting team. I have a group chat, yes. The notes is the most easiest thing for me. My schedule is in my notes.
Right.
I literally change it and then I copy and paste it and send it to my friends. Travis, who travels with me, he's got it. I send it to him. I send it to the videographer team. Like I send my schedule through notes all the time because it's just really easy to do.
Yeah, and I just think it's quick. It's on your phone, your calendar's there. What time do you start your day?
So I typically wait whenever the sun's up, I'm up.
Okay. Unless so like 6, 5?
6 to 7 is my main time. The problem is I can go to bed anywhere from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. depending on what's going on. 12 a.m. normal, but if I'm playing a poker game or if I'm traveling or whatever, I might go to bed at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. But I'm still going to get up when the sun's up.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, no. That's my issue now. Like getting up for me is like a hard thing because my daughter has eczema. My youngest daughter has eczema. We have 8 kids. The youngest one has eczema and she wakes up like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm up until, my son has to go to school at 8 o'clock. So it's kind of like, and then I'm back to sleep.
Right.
So it's like, all right, well, 8 o'clock, my eyes are still burning because I just woke up. I just went to sleep like at 4 or 5. So that's kind of been like the hard thing for me is getting up early, but I sleep so late because my brain is like constantly thinking, constantly moving. Yep. So I guess how do you have that shut off button because you're so busy with so many things?
So the only way I shut off is if I turn my phone upside down and I leave it just far enough that I can't just reach it.
Okay.
That's the only time.
And I know you got married.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations on that beautiful wife. How do you manage to spend time with your wife and just, personal time for yourself with everything that you have going on?
So for the most part, I do what's called ninja missions. Okay. So ninja mission means if I'm going to a city, I'll do whatever I can to make the same flight back that night.
Oh, wow.
So if I can, and she doesn't care. Sometimes she's like, go ahead, just go for 2 days, 3 days a week, whatever you need to. You don't have to teleport back home. I like to teleport back home just to do that on a personal level.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want that to be secondary. I don't want my relationship to be secondary. And so I do a lot of ninja missions where I'll go to Vegas at 9 a.m., but I'll take the last 9:20 p.m. flight possible. I'll fly back that same night. Or otherwise, if I have to stay over late or I'm going to be at a dinner that night, etc., I'll make sure I'm taking the morning flight to get back to her.
I love that. I love that you make your relationship a priority along with everything else that you make a priority. So I guess my question is too, how do you manage to, I kind of look at life or businesses as a dartboard, right? There's a 50, there's a 20, there's a 10. How do you manage to give your percentages in your dartboard X amount of time?
So what's interesting is it goes in waves. Mm-hmm. There's sometimes the family part is in the center of the dartboard, and sometimes it becomes secondary or third, or it becomes small because I'm immersed into something. Like let's say I'm throwing a charity event. The 3 days before a charity event, good luck getting a hold of me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even family and friends. Like it's not that I don't want to. I'm just I'm in the zone, and I'm gonna make this charity event work. If I'm doing some big launch or some big thing, or I'm opening a store, the day before me opening a store, how are you gonna get a hold of me? Like I am there with vendors, construction, like. So I would say that it changes a lot. Sometimes the things that are in the center become second and third. I'm just well aware that I got to get it back. I want to get family and friends and things back to the middle. I want that to become the 50, right? I want that to become the bullseye. But ultimately, the people that are in my life, I'm very, very blunt. Like I tell them, I'm going to be here. I got to travel here. Like I was with my mom this morning. I hadn't seen her in a couple weeks. I was like, hey, I'm leaving at 12 o'clock to make it to a podcast. It's 2 hours away. Like,
aww.
But I made sure that she got there at 9 a.m. so we could be together till 12 and then I could drive here.
So what happens when someone's not on time? How does that work?
My life moves on.
Oh man, so it's like their time slot is their time slot because
Yes.
you have so much going
There's
on.
nothing I can do about it.
Absolutely.
When I throw my events, this isn't a running joke. That's actually very serious. When I say 9:02 a.m., you're going to be on stage at 9:02 a.m.
Absolutely.
I don't mean 9:03. I don't mean 9:06. I mean 9:02. I don't care if you're a household name celebrity, biggest business person. And then if you have a 40-minute slot at 9:42, you are coming off the stage one way or another.
Right.
And it's not like where the screen that says flashing, hey, you got to stop. No, you are getting off the stage at 9:42.
So how do
I
they
am
take
adamant
that?
about it. I'm blunt about it in advance.
Right.
I'm talking about household names, legends. Like I am blunt in advance. I'm going to get you off the stage at 9:42.
So you just had an amazing birthday party.
That was fun, yeah.
I seen pictures. You know,
fun.
it was amazing. The theme was amazing. It's super fucking cute, guys. But how was that? Was that a situation where he's like, all right, you have to be on stage at this time.
Yeah.
We're done at this time.
Yeah, I had Travis Barker on the drums, and then we had 2 Chainz perform afterwards. But they had their time slots and they were on time.
I love that.
And people were always like,
they know.
yeah. They was like, oh yeah, sometimes this rapper's late. I'm like, no, they're not. I'm going to tell them they have to be here at this time, and I paid for this.
Right.
And I book celebrities for all my events. Last year's birthday, I did the world's largest pizza festival. And I had Steve Aoki DJ and then Lil Wayne perform after him. Everybody's like, oh, Lil Wayne's busy, or he gets distracted, or sometimes he could be a couple hours late. I'm like, he cannot be late.
Okay, so I guess my question to that is, how do you get them to be on time? Because that's something that is like hard
Yes,
for
it's
like
hard.
people when people have stature.
Yes.
Right. It's hard to get them on your schedule because
Right.
they're so used to being on their
Right.
schedule.
It's my favorite music artist of all time is Lil Wayne. So I still have to be blunt with him.
Right.
Because I want for them to look their best.
Absolutely.
And if I say 9 o'clock is when they're going to perform and they go perform at 10:46, I don't want 1,000 people mad at them or upset with them. Like,
Right.
So help me help you just by being on
Absolutely.
time. And so what I did was I told him to be there at 6:30.
Oh, because he was going to be late.
I knew he was going to be late.
Right.
But the show was, I knew I wanted him to perform at 9 o'clock. Guess what? He actually showed up on time at 6:30, had a great time. We fed them, entertained them, etc. And that happens across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really clear with the influencers, rappers, performers, etc. We're going to run this on time. I need you here this amount of time early. I put in the contract, and I'm very clear about it. And I've knock on wood, I've had 40, 50 different talent perform the last couple of years. I've never had someone be late.
Oh wow,
That's
impressive.
on stage, late on stage.
That is impressive. Like
Yeah.
no, that's amazing. And you have a contract, so that's one key thing that I feel like everyone needs to have when doing any type of business, no matter how big, how small a business is, because that just puts everything in writing.
Yes.
So we have a mutual agreement
Correct.
on what is going on.
Contracts are mostly for clarity. So
Yes.
I'm not going to sue Lil Wayne, right? I'm
Right,
not going to
right,
sue
right.
my Steve Aoki is one of my best friends. I'm not going to ever sue these people, but by having it spelled out in black and white, it's clarity. I need you to do
Absolutely.
this at this time. I'm going to pay you this amount of money to do X, Y, and Z. That's it.
Absolutely.
And it's not that you're going to sue your friends or your business people, your vendors or partners, but the clarity of a contract is most important.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a key thing for people to know, because I feel like when you present a contract, certain people are like, oh, a contract, or oh, an NDA, and like, they look at you kind of funny, like it's like, all right, well,
It's getting real.
yeah, it's getting real, and it's like, no, just like you said, it's for clarity. It's not for confusion, or
Right.
it's not for I'm gonna sue you. It's
Right.
The clarity of it, I feel like, is the most important thing, and people should know that it's nothing against you. It's nothing against your business. This is what it is, and this is the clarity of it. That's important.
So the old, when people ask this like famous question, they're like, what would you tell your younger self?
Mm-hmm.
I've only answered it one way every single time. It's exactly what you just said. My line is sign contracts with everyone, including your mom.
Absolutely.
Because you're never going to sue your mom. And it's not about that. It's the fact
Yeah.
that, hey, mom, I'm going to clean my room for the next 5 days in a row, and you're going to pay me $10 a day. That's clarity. Where the problem is if I say, hey, mom, I'm going to clean my room this week. And she's like, great, I'll pay you on Friday. When Friday comes around, she might give me $5.
Right.
And I might only clean my room once or all 5 days. Who knows? Because we didn't have any clarity. And so by saying, hey, mom, 5 days in a row, $10 a day, she can be like, no, it's $4 a day. I'll give you 20. We can have that discussion instead of us
Right.
assuming I'm going to do 5 days a week and then me assuming I'm going to do once or twice. It has clarity. So signing contracts is my number one regret.
That is an amazing way to go about chores. I'm giving my
There you
kids
go.
contracts.
There you
Literally, Karan, you heard it here. All right, like tomorrow,
Yep.
because he definitely needs to clean his room, and I'm
Yep.
just like, I told you to, and
Right.
there's no, I guess, no proof.
There wasn't clarity.
No, like
Yeah.
there was, I feel like I was clear with my words, but
Right.
then it's like, all right, on paper,
Right.
hey, you signed here and
Right.
this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way to teach someone just learning lessons in life,
Right.
you know, whether it's your children, family members. And, you know, like I genuinely feel like when people see contracts, they're like nervous or scared or, oh, let me get a lawyer to look at
Right.
this. Whatever you need to do to get that clarity, the best way said ever.
Yes.
Because I just feel like that clarity super essential and important, especially when you're at the caliber of where you are in life. You know, like you need that structure
Yes.
or else it doesn't happen.
Right.
So that's amazing. We talked about your relationships. We talked about your investments. We talked about what you have going on. You said you're having a toy drive for the Guinness Book of World to beat a Guinness Book of World record
Yeah.
to give, what is it? The most toys.
yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about it.
So last year at SoFi Stadium with the Chargers, we took over their stadium with short notice, was able to cover the whole field with toys for Trina's Kids Foundation. And then we gave toys to the Watts Foundation with Jessica Killing's friend, Watts. Sticks is his name. The Watts Foundation is amazing. So we give out toys to other foundations. And so we're doing it again, but this year on a much bigger level because we can prove what we did last year by covering the whole field of toys. Now we're going back. The Chargers said, yes, come back in. SoFi Stadium, third week of December. But to break the record, we're adding in Salt Lake City. We're going to try to get
wow.
Dallas, New York. We're going to try to get some other cities.
So multiple locations,
Yeah.
all coming to LA or in their own personal
No, it'll
location.
stay in their cities. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're going to
So-
fly there to help them. But
Oh wow,
Yeah.
you gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So we already have 3 or 4 cities locked. Well, we have 3 cities for sure, and we're trying to get a 4th and 5th to really make this like, wow, the world's largest toy drive.
Wow. So is it going to be in all the football stadiums?
So we're hopefully going to get the Vivint Arena for Utah. Hopefully, we talked to them again this morning. But here it'll be at SoFi Stadium, and then in Dallas we're probably going to do the Cowboys practice field.
That's going to be amazing.
They have a really nice place there. And then New York, it might be in Syracuse Stadium there.
Oh, that's amazing. So I know, like for the people that are watching that might not have financial freedom to
Right.
do these things, can you like direct them on how to raise money without so
Yes.
much money to
Came
invest?
to the right place. Ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Let's say you want to do a toy drive and you are in Alabama. Okay. You don't have any
I'll be
money.
in Alabama, guys.
You don't have any money.
Right.
Okay. You need to ask friends on social media and around you who has either a warehouse or an office or a restaurant that you can use like the back area for people to drop off toys.
Right.
Okay. Ding, $0. Social media, $0. Asking your friends, $0. You buying the toys, don't have to buy any toys. Okay. Still at $0. All you're doing is trying to find a location that is safe
Right.
for everyone to bring toys to. Now, your next job is to rally the troops, get
Right.
everybody together, have everybody talking about it. Design one clear flyer that says Friday, December 12th. This is the venue. It's going to be at this studio or this restaurant, this real estate office, whatever it is. Bring your toys here. Friday, December 12th, all weekend long. We're taking in toys to give to the local foundation. The design of that flyer, $0. Okay, I don't care if you make it look like kids' scribbles. Just make a
Right.
flyer that just says Friday, December 12th, 4 p.m., address, bring toys. That's it. I know it sounds basic. That's it.
Right.
Make it really clear. Take this flyer, text it out to everybody and say, hey, rally the troops, get everybody together, bring toys, December 12th weekend, bam, come here to this restaurant. Post it on social media, say, hey, everybody, share this with all your friends, share this with your business owners. The next thing is, the following week, you start going to local businesses. You go to the mortgage office. You go to the local car dealership. You go to, you know the ballers in every city that own,
Right.
that guy owns 4 car dealership. That lady owns 12 apartment buildings. That guy owns all the jewelry stores. She owns 6 restaurants. Go to them, rally the troops together. Start getting them and say, hey, we're doing this huge toy drive December 12th weekend at this location. Can you help us drop off? Get your employees, staff, clients, get them to bring us toys. Have you noticed you haven't spent $1 yet?
Absolutely. So how long do you think that process takes? Is it 6 months, 4 months, 1 year to do an event of that magnitude?
So you don't have to be the biggest toy drive,
Right.
You don't need to rent out stadiums. I'm overdoing it to go cause
Above
an
and
impact
beyond.
around the world because I want everybody to replicate their own version of it. But you getting 100 toys or 1,000 toys or 10,000 toys, it's all just relative to your situation, but none of it costs you any money.
Absolutely.
And so most of the heavy lifting of work happens in the 30-day period right before. The things that you do 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months of prep work are nice and great to cause buzz, but really you're not going to collect any toys within until the 30 days before the event. You don't want to because you don't have anywhere to store it. All the things that you do are in that 30-day window right before the events. That's when most things happen. There are events I plan out half a year in advance, and then none of my ticket sales happen until 30 days before.
Yeah, that's I guess that's my gosh, like the anxiety through the roof, because like I just did a prostate cancer. My first male-dominated event was prostate cancer because my father had a scare. So I usually do women and children, but I did a golf event, and I'm not a golfer. So I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get people for this event? And how, and my dad was like, oh, golfers are going to sign up 2 weeks before. And I'm like, this is like 5 months in advance. I've already paid the golf club, private golf club. I've already paid the brunch area for the women because I wanted the women to have something. So I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get these people? Like literally 2 weeks before the event, completely sold out of cards, out of everything. And I'm just like, wow, we did it, and I was just here panicking because you don't know, that I guess that that not knowing feeling, but still knowing. How do you get over that anxiety? Because
all you can do is put in relentless effort. And so the fact that you were relentless and you were messaging people, vendors and sponsors and clients and potential golfers and everybody in between, you putting the compounding effort of that makes it work. Absolutely. The problem is someone says, I want to throw a golf tournament, and then doesn't do anything and then wonders why it fails. Right. They didn't go there and do it over and over and over and over and over. The compounding thing that you did to message all those people across the board is what made the event work and why it sold out ultimately. A lot of times people have the idea that they want to do charity, but they don't actually want to do the work for it. And there's a lot of work of asking people to do you favors or asking people to do it. Even though it's not for you, it feels like you're asking them a favor. I want to be very clear. The richest people in the world, the most famous people in the world, the poorest people in the world, and everybody in between ultimately want to do charity. They just want it to be done easily for them. Absolutely. And so if you can make it easy by saying, be here December 12th weekend, or be at this golf tournament, or be at this homeless shelter, they will do it. Absolutely. The way I call it removing the no's. How do I remove the no? By giving them all of the information up front and making it really clear. It's this location, this is the date and time, this is what you do. I don't have to have back and forth questions. There's nothing to ask me. Right. It's just unwrapped toys, December 12th, 4 p.m. at this restaurant. That's it. Right. And so the same concept. You had your deck for your golf tournament. Here's my sponsor deck. Here's how much it costs to be a golfer. Here's how much it costs to have a booth. That's it. You don't need a badge back and forth. It's $3,000 for this or $1,000 for 10 grand, whatever it is. Right. It's clarity that's important, but people want to do charity. Absolutely. And it rallies your community together, whether you're in Alabama or in Hollywood, it doesn't matter. Absolutely. I love that. And I love how organized you are, how structured you are, and again, what you're doing with the Model Citizen Foundation that you have. Amazing. And your toy drive is the 3rd week of December, guys. So stay tuned for that. They will. They're not trying. They will break the world record. Yes. We're going to speak it into existence. Yeah. And what else do you have going on? Because I know you have like 20 million things going on at once. What else is going on? I've been scaling the card stores. We just opened our 7th card store on the acai bowls. We opened number 55. Oh, wow. We opened 1 new location every 6 days. Oh, wow. And I remember the acai bowls was, I feel like I knew about it like less than a year ago. I feel like. Yeah, so how long has it been? They've been around for years, but I really stepped in about a year or 2 ago and really came in and helped rally the troops together. Remember, get everybody together. I like rallying the troops around things. And so with that one, I raised them millions of dollars and brought a bunch of franchisees because it's a great product, a great business that already had 17 locations before I found them. And then when I saw what they were doing and how good the product was, is when it's gasoline on the fire. That's when I took what they were already doing well, added gasoline on the fire by getting millions of dollars of friends together, help market it, franchisees, etc. And then they took it from there. Yeah, the franchise business to grow and elevate it is like, I feel like more so who you know and how it can grow, as opposed to like the products that you have. Because like you said, there's multiple, health food stores or bowls out there, but to franchise it, that's the key to franchise. If you want someone to franchise whatever you have, you could have a key store, a hair shop, a beauty salon, a restaurant. They have to believe in you. Absolutely. They have to believe in your brand, and they have to believe that it's easier to just buy your name and rights than to go do it on their own. And for the most part, it is much easier because you're giving them the playbook. Here's my brand, Everbowl. Here's how much it costs, X amount of dollars to open up location. Here, we'll come help and train your team on how to do it. So yes, could Telli go open up her own acai bowl? Of course she could. And she'd probably do well at it. But she won't buy the napkins for 4 cents when we buy it for 2 cents, right?
Right.
She won't do it as efficiently because we're buying it at scale. And that's fine. She'll figure it out later. That happens across the board. You might say, oh, I'm going to get this lease for $6,000 a month. But we are like, hey, you could have got it for $4,800 if you did this one, you know?
Right.
Buying a franchise from any type of brand, you're buying the playbook. And it's understanding how to do your lease right, how to hire your team right, how many hours. You might say, oh, I'm going to open an acai bowl place. I'm going to be open from 8 a.m. to midnight. Well, you really only need to be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. because X, Y, and Z. And so buying a franchise helps remove a lot of the failure parts of the business. It helps a lot of the learning curve because instead of opening your own, you can buy it from someone that's already doing it at scale.
Absolutely. So for people that are starting businesses, what are your top 3 things that you would tell someone that's starting a business?
So the first thing is act as if you're actually going to open that business. If you're not going to go through with it, don't tell people about it until you've actually you've researched it, you've set up your corporation, you set up a bank account, you got your business plan. I call it setting up shop. Mm-hmm. You got to set up shop first. Because the worst thing you can do is say, hey, I'm going to start this clothing line. And you tell everybody for 6 months to a year, and then you never start the clothing line.
Absolutely.
It happens all the time. We see it on social media. Big things pop in. And then I just had this huge meeting, and then we never hear about it again, right? I've seen 600 people have big things pop in, and I never saw anything pop. Because they lack the execution of just setting up shop and acting as if. So the first thing is find if your name is going to work. Research everything about your industry. If you want to open up acai bowls or a beauty shop or a hair salon, a gym, whatever, research everything about it. Gyms. Research everything about gyms. Do you want a small gym, a medium gym, a big gym? Do you want to have Pilates? Do you want to have yoga? Do you want to have karate? Do you want to have self-defense? Do you want to basketball? What are you going to put in there?
Right.
There's so many options in every single category, whether it's a gym, a hair salon, or anything in between, that you got to choose from. Research everything. Become an expert in everything. It doesn't cost you $1.
Right.
And so the first things first, when you want to open a business, is research everything about it. Then set up shop, get all your social media accounts, get your website going, get your business plan going, get everything so that you look like a real business. Have your bank account set up. Because the worst thing you can do is to come to Telli and say, hey, Telli, will you invest $100K? And she's like, sure, I actually love your business. And then you don't have a bank account.
Right.
And you don't have a corporation. And you actually don't have the legal paperwork for her to sign to give you $100K.
Right. No, it's funny that you say that because when I did the fragrance for me and Deontay, we spoke about it for 4 years. It was like, oh, let's do this unisex fragrance. I want to do this fragrance with you. Did the fragrance, told him, he was like, yeah, if you want to do it now, do it now. So I did it, spoke to a chemist, got all the paperwork for it. When it got to him, I was like, hey, babe, can you pick out one of these fonts? Yep. And it was Telli, which I already got the name for it. The fragrance is done, completely done. The only thing was the font that needed to be left. So he was like, oh, what's this for? And I was like, the fragrance. He's like, oh, when are we going to go smell it? And when are we going to go talk to the chemist? I was like, it's done, babe. Here it is. Yes. This is it. And he loved it. I put into consideration all the scents that he likes, all the scents that I liked, and merged it into one. Tested it on guys, tested it on girls, wanted to see, just all that stuff before. And I just feel like I'm the type of person, and I just feel like, people should go about it this way, that when you have a product, whatever it is, move in silence until you're ready to present it fully, because it just feels like it's talk beforehand. Literally, we were literally talking about it for 4 years. Right. I was like, you know what? This is the year. I'm gonna start it. Right. I'm ready. It's perfect moment, perfect time. The fragrance mottos were 2 souls connect as one. He's training in Alabama. I'm working in LA. We can connect through the fragrance, with scent. So that was like my motto behind it, and it worked. So I just feel like. I didn't want to present it to him until it was completely done. Yeah. Completely done. He was like, you didn't even tell me you were doing it. And I was like, yeah, because it wasn't done.
Is he really training in Alabama?
He is. He trains
I just randomly was picking Alabama.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'll be. Yeah, so it's crazy that you said that. But he's actually in Vegas. He's actually in Vegas right now doing his media workout, as we speak. And then he's coming here tonight. Nice. And then his schedule's crazy too. Sure, so we're 6 a.m. in the morning. We're shooting for 12 hours, and then he has to go back to Alabama. And he's going to fly into Atlanta and then drive 3 hours to Alabama. So I'm like, I don't know how you're going to rest and then get back up to fight and spar.
When is the fight?
And do right. October 15th.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah. In Brooklyn.
Nice.
So yeah, let me know if you want to go because it's going to be insane. Insane. It's his first fight back. So I'm super excited for him. Yeah, so I feel like we've talked about so much stuff, upcoming things, toy drive record. For everyone that comes on this show, we play this game so people could get to know you outside of who you are and what they know and what you showcase on social media. Yep. So it's questions. There's rules to these questions. This or that.
This or that.
Rules of the game, because people come on here and cheat. You have to answer this or that. Okay. You can explain your answer, but you can't remix the question. So you can't change the this or that.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. Asking questions or answering questions?
Always asking questions.
Badly wounded or chronically ill?
Badly wounded.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Fame or fortune?
Fortune.
Locked or unlocked?
Locked.
Lose your sight or lose your hearing?
Lose your hearing.
Love or money?
Love.
Money or intelligence?
It's a good one. Intelligence.
Permission or forgiveness?
Permission.
Riches or happiness?
Riches.
Secretive or open?
Open.
Smart or beautiful?
Smart.
Touch or taste?
Taste.
Truth or dare?
Dare.
Last but not least, younger or older?
Younger.
Love it. And tell everybody where they can find you, where they can get information about the event, to be a part of the Guinness Book of World Records, for the toy drive in December, all that good stuff.
Yep. So my social media is all just at Dan Fleyshman. And also for you guys listening, your social media account should always be the same name on every platform.
Yes.
And your bio and headshot should be the same on every platform. And then for the largest toy drive, that's the website name, but it's not live yet, obviously, because we're not going to have registration for a few months. But it's largesttoydrive.com. You can follow Model Citizen Fund. We'll be posting from there. Trina's Kids Foundation is the main foundation that's doing the actual toy drive. That's who we're supporting. And it'll be third week of December at SoFi.
Oh, that's
so people
amazing.
can come there in person, and we might even have some surprise performers.
I love that. Can they come in person the day of, or do they need to sign up beforehand?
Yeah, they'll be able to register to bring toys there, and then
Perfect.
I'm working with SoFi about having performances there.
Love that. Tune in to all things Dan has going on for the event coming up in December, and everything that he said. Make sure you guys listen to it because I'm all in. And that is it for Telli Talks podcast.